I grew so much by being with them, and I feel like being with them really helped me find who I am as a wrestler and as a person. And, for the rest of my life, they will be, in that group of people that I will say I couldn't have done anything without. So, they were a big part of my career and me as a person.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can't say any bad things about them ever. They're two of my favorite people in the entire business. So I just wanted to, I had to throw it out there because I knew you'd have positive things to say about them too. And it's awesome to see them blowing up, as much as they are. Because they started out with meager roots too. They're just Team IOU, a boy and his dog, and now they're everywhere as the Carney. So it's pretty awesome to see.
Mhm.
All right. Let's see here. Throw another name at you, and this will be a random one to me, but it's one that I think a lot of people owe a lot to in independent women's wrestling. Mickey Knuckles.
Oh, yes. So funny story about Mickey. So when I started having matches, I asked my trainer. I was like, hey, which he also books Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, and by no means do I get any strings pulled because I'm his trainee. I think he's a little harder on me because of that. But I asked him for a year. I said, Murder, I really want to work Mickey Knuckles. I said, please. I was like, for my birthday, I would love to. And, he kind of just brushed it off and, acted like it would never happen. And come a year later, on my birthday, actually, they ran a show, and I got to wrestle Mickey, and one of my favorite people, and one of my favorite people to be in the ring with. I've only wrestled her once, but it was one of the more fun matches that I think I've ever had, and that was another match that I feel like I grew from and learned a lot about myself and my wrestling from that match, and I desperately want to have another one with her.
How hard does she hit, and how hard does she hit butt?
At that point in wrestling, I was, still needing to be broken in a little bit, which, I was always trained with guys, so I expected hard hits, and, they didn't surprise me. And before going into the match, I was just like, all right, here we go. And I think I was braced for, I was braced for some hard hits that day. And I actually, I think it was so much adrenaline and excitement just for the match that it didn't bother me a bit. But she's definitely not a light hitter, for sure.
You can tell that from sitting in an audience. Yeah, it hurts sitting out there, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Tessa Blanchard.
I've wrestled Tessa twice, I think. Yeah. I had a triple threat with her and Kiera at PWX, maybe 4 or 5 months into my career. And I had a match with her last fall at one of the AWE Roar shows, and it was that was a very hard hitting match for sure, because I actually got a little dental damage from that match, but nonetheless, it was a awesome match, and she is awesome to work with, and like anybody else that I enjoy working, I would love to do it again.
All right. Since I know he's going to listen, Trevin Adams.
Trevin is the worst human being in the world, and I would never talk to him. I'm just kidding. He is very sweaty, though. I try to catch him in his sweatiest moments and put it on Snapchat, and he hates me for that. But I feel like, in all honesty, I feel like Trevin kind of always had faith in me. From the moment I met him, he always seemed very hopeful for me. Even in times where I have thought that I, wasn't doing anything or whatever, I feel like he's always reassured me that, I'm good. And he has become, I think, one of my bestest friends in the WWN family, and he's very awesome, even though he's sweaty.
Yeah. Okay. And this one's not so much me just throwing a name at you. I wanted something specific because I know you get this all the time. It's changed from, well, I would assume I'll let you talk about it, but originally I heard of Priscilla Kelly, oh, she looks just like Paige, blah, blah, and it was people being negative. Now I'm hearing it the other way. Like everybody's like, and I'm not saying anything negative about Paige. I don't even want to get into that situation, but people are like, oh, well, he could easily replace Paige. So can you just talk about your comparisons to Paige? I'll put it there so we don't get too, uncomfortable with the questioning.
Yeah, that's been a thing since, because I mean, when I first started, I tanned religiously. Like I spray tanned before every show, and I was like orange. There's old pictures of me, and I am just orange, and it's awful. And I hated tanning. I hated it. I hated feeling like, I was not being my true self. I hated having to do it. It's expensive. And, so finally it took a long time, but I finally got comfortable with my own skin because, I am very fair complected, and it took me a long, long time to get comfortable with that and not feel like I have to cake on a bunch of bronzer and tanner just to be, confident in myself. So it sucks that it took me so long to get comfortable with being pale, and then I once I let my natural skin shine, so to say, I started getting bashed for, oh, you look like Paige, oh, you want to be Paige, because when I was tan, and I used to have AJ Lee comparisons when I first started, and I feel like there's always going to be somebody that somebody's going to compare you to, because I mean. Kiera Hogan, again, like she's got red hair, and she obviously looks nothing like Eva Marie, but I mean, there were people that would, be like, oh, you look just like Eva Marie, and it's like, no, she doesn't. She's got red hair, but that's about it. And I feel like that's with anybody, like, you have red hair, you're Eva Marie, you have black hair, and you're pale, you're Paige, or, whatever. But by no means do I want to be Paige's replacement, and by no means am I trying to be her or be like her. I'm trying to be myself and be comfortable in myself, and it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I'm comfortable with who I am, and I think people should just kind of leave it alone and realize that, hey, I'm doing different things and she is doing different things, and we're two very different people.
Well said. All right, well, I'll throw one last name at you, and you just take it and roll with it. Chip Day.
Well, all right, so I guess if we're going more shoot on this one.
You go wherever you want with it. I won't make you go too far either way, so it's whatever you're comfortable with.
I mean, these have been mostly, shoot answers from me anyways. He is, he's been a very big part of my life and my career as well. He supports me, and, he picks me up when I'm down, and, all the cliche crap. But, without him, I don't think that I would have made it through a lot of the negative stuff that I faced in the business, as far as people saying the things that they said about me early on, and all the times that I would sit and, it sounds pathetic, but I mean, there were times where I would just sit and cry my eyes out, not feeling like I was good enough, and he, without him, I don't think I would have made it through that. He's taught me a lot, and he's really been there by my side through everything that I think I have faced in wrestling. So yeah, and he's really, doing his thing too, and he just, obviously, everybody knows he had that awesome match with Trevor Lee, and he'll be at CWS this weekend. I think I might go with him, but yeah, like, he's really, he doesn't think so, I don't think, but he's a very strong-minded person, because he's stronger-minded than I am, and without that, like I said, I would have been too weak to get through some of the things that I got through.
And you talked about it, but underrated talent. A few years ago, I thought he was going to blow up. He had some injury issues. And now he's kind of back on that train again, I feel like, where people are starting to notice him again. So I just wanted to, get that out there. You can pass along the words, because I think Chip Day is a hell of a talent, and I love seeing him get out there again. Not that he hasn't been doing it for a while now, but, I mean, his name's getting mentioned more and more, whereas it took a little while to build back up. So I love seeing that, and I just wanted to throw that out there as kind of a last thing on him. Okay, so if you could, do you mind throwing out your social media where everybody can follow you, T-shirts, all that BS?
Sure, yeah. My Twitter is Priscilla Kelly _ because that's very original. And my Instagram is THE Priscilla Kelly. And my Facebook is Priscilla Kelly too. And my T-shirts as of right now, I'm with Fully Gimmicked, but I will have them at every show that I am at. And I also have 8x10 pins and stickers.
There you go. And this weekend you said you might be at PWX. That doesn't really mean anything wrestling-wise. But your schedule coming up, do you have anything you can announce for us?
This weekend, this Sunday, I will be at AWE in Atlanta. And next weekend, I will be at FIP and Style Battle. And then, obviously, Shine on September 15th. Got AWS coming up. I forgot the date on that. I really need to figure out when that is. I'm not very good at what I do, am I? But, and I've got WrestleLicious coming up as well. So I've got a lot, which I push everything on my social media. So if you follow me on Twitter and my Instagram, that's the two things that I'm really big on. I will post any updates or posters or announcements on there. So
there you go. And by the way, and last thing, do you consider AWE to be still your home promotion, or are you thinking WWN Live is your home now? I know that's hard, right? Well, you can just say they both are. That's good enough.
Well, yeah, they both are, because, I mean, when I'm at AWE, I feel like I'm at home, and when I'm with WWN, I feel like I'm at home. So I think, and we actually had a joint show not too long ago, the AWE Evolve doubleheader, and it was a really great show, because for me, it was like everybody that I love in one building, and I was so happy about it, because, I mean, I've grown very attached to, everyone, and, even in the locker room of WWN shows like Evolve and whatnot. When I first came to Evolve, I thought it was going to be kind of looked at as, oh, she's a girl, she doesn't belong here. And I've actually grown to be very, very good friends with some of those men, and I feel like they have took on the role, some of them, as my big brother, and they're just so great to me and so welcoming. And, obviously Gabe and Sal and Trevin and everybody has just always been so welcoming and so awesome. And I love everybody there. And I know I sound like such a weirdo, but like when I came into, Evolve and FIP and Shine, I didn't expect it to be so welcoming. I really didn't. I'm this young kid that's just, trying to make it, and I'm doing these, what I consider to be these really big shows, and I didn't expect everybody to be so welcoming.
Yeah, definitely. And, again, well, I'll tell you what, you were awesome to talk to. I really enjoyed it. And, crazy as you may be in the ring, you're fun to talk to. So in about 5 months or so, we'll do the IPR 100, and I kind of think you're going to be in the top 100 this year for sure, considering you've already had a number 1 ranking this year. So I just want to wish you the best of luck, and then hopefully we can talk in a few months. Okay?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thanks again, Priscilla. Take care and good luck with everything.
You too. Thank you so much.
All right. And everybody, that was the Shine Nova champion, Priscilla Kelly, also last week's #1 in the Indy Power Rankings. Total sweetheart, fun to talk to.